Here we are talking about Google Glass as our topic today. Would you like a minute to remind us of who we are?
Yeah, we are a consulting team brought in by the senior management of Google to review the ethical, legal, and financial issues behind Google Glass, so when it is released to the public, it will be held to that highest ethical standard.
Okay. Welcome, and you may begin.
Hi, good morning. My name is Joaquin. This is my colleague Casey, and we'd like to thank you again for inviting us over. So today we're going to talk about our greatest product, Google Glass. Our latest product will be believed will be the greatest thing out there. This thing will change how we communicate with each other, how we walk through life, how we interact with people all over the world. But there's some ethical issues behind this product. And why do ethics matter? Why do we even care about producing an ethical product? I think there's two main reasons for that. First, our product is not even out there to the common public. It has been launched in a beta mode to an exclusive group called the Explorer program, and it has also been sold just openly for 1 day. And there has already been public outcry. There have already been concerns. A committee of over 30 privacy commissioners from all over the world, including Canada, Europe, have expressed their concerns. They have sent a letter asking,
Keep going.
how are we going to use this product? How is the data going to be stored? Is there going to be able to be using facial recognition or not? And that obviously affects the user. I'm a big Google fan. I'm probably your biggest fan. I have a Gmail account, I have a Google Calendar. The only one thing I pay online is my Google Drive account. But also because I believe in Google. And if I see that Google is launching a product unethically, I might revisit that. And I think that's something we're concerned with. So that brings me to our second point. Ethics is something we believe in, something we stand for. It's part of what we are, it's part of who we want to be. When Google was just a few years old, they produced this document called 10 Things We Know to Be True. And they expressly said, we want to revisit that document over and over again over time. And their first item says, follow and focus on the user and all else will follow. And under that item it says, we want to design applications, programs, whatever we produce, we want to produce it in such a good way that it cannot be conceived designed differently. And we think that is not the case with Google Glass right now. Secondly, we wanted to refer to Google's code of conduct. The first paragraph says, everything we do at Google, everything we do, everything that has to do with our employees, our product, has to be compared and contrasted with the highest standards in ethical business. And that's why we're here. So we have identified a variety of possible misuses that could be given to Google Glass. And we believe this is particularly important in an industry as IT that has historically been caught from behind in terms of understanding and acknowledging new ways in which the product can be misused. And we believe this is extremely important, as we know and we foresee some users or some people will hold Google rather than the users themselves responsible for these misuses. So we have categorized and classified these misuses in two big groups: privacy and tangible harm. And the first one has to do with privacy. And why privacy? Because privacy is one of the main issues that is being talked about and one of the main issues we should focus, and the users are concerned about it. Why is it ethical? Because privacy is a moral right, it's a human right. In the United Nations Declaration of Universal Rights, it's the 12th right. It comes before private property, it comes before freedom of expression, it comes before education, and so many other rights we usually talk about. And users feel this product could be misused for privacy for a variety of reasons. First of all, they're worried about always on recording. You know, I just took a picture. I could have blinked. I could have recorded you. In fact, I've been recording the whole time. If you wanted to send it to your Gmail account, I can send it to you. So Google acts as a wearable computer, as an always-on surveillance item. And that can lead to identity theft. Let's say I pay my bill here. I give the front desk man my credit card. He's wearing a Google Glass. He blinks twice. He has both my front and back of my credit card. Let's say I go to the ATM. I type in my PIN. I take my money. I drop my card. I didn't realize someone was behind me. He was recording the whole thing. He has my PIN and my card. he can go and empty my bank account. And so on with other documents like driver license, passport. So that's one concern, identity theft. Secondly, blackmail. That has also to do with surveillance. When people fear of being constantly recorded, they act differently. They're afraid of things that are part of the usual habits, but they're just not being used to being recorded. Before the presentation, I walked into the restroom. I didn't notice I was wearing my Google Glass, and someone looked strangely at me. And that's what this product is causing right now. So we want to address that. We want to address the identity theft. We want to address the blackmail, the concerns for just being able to show and protect yourself how you want to and to who you want to. Because if not, that just stifles your creativity, your self-discovery, and who you want to be. So now, the second big concern we have has to do with tangible harm. Google Glass has a variety of options and capabilities and ways it can be used. And a lot of them have to do with notifications coming up on this screen I have right on top of my eye. And it has to do with emails popping up, phone calls, my Google search, my Google Maps. So let's say I'm driving the 105, and I get an email from a friend. I didn't notice. I pay attention to the text, or it blocks my vision from an object moving, from pedestrian, whatever. I get into an accident. I get hurt. I hurt someone. Who's going to be responsible? Is the user going to be responsible? Is Google going to be responsible? We probably would want to look at that. Again, it has not only to do with cars. I could be riding my bicycle in downtown LA. I didn't notice there's an object coming from the right because I had an email pop up. I was reading my email. I get into an accident. Who are we going to held responsible for? Who's going to be held responsible for? So these are some of the complaints we've been receiving from the Explorer program, and we really want to pay attention to them because, again, the users are a priority here at Google. So now we'll turn it to Casey, who will address some of the solutions we have thought about.
So for the solutions that we came up with to deal with some of the ethical problems, we had to not only keep in mind the privacy of the Google Glass user, but as well as the public. So the first way to combat this is by implementing a recording light on the Google Glass. Currently, there is no recording light that shows up when you're recording, whether it's audio or visual. So having a recording light that pops up will inform the public, so if they do have a problem with their situation, they're able to remove themselves. The next issue that Joaquin addressed was the ATM machine dilemma. So by producing a QR code that we will provide with all the major ATM manufacturers, when the QR code simply pops up in the vision of the camera, which will be placed on the ATM machine, all recording aspects of Google Glass will automatically be shut off, and the QR code recognition is already part of the product. The next dilemma is the driving distractions. We all know how easy it is. You get a text, you just lose focus on the road, and you're just like, oh man, 30 seconds ago I was way back there, how'd I get here? So by using steering wheel recognition software, where the steering wheel is directly in front of the Google Glass wearer, all notifications that normally pop up will be shut off. The display will be shut off. However, we still want the product to be useful while driving. So all notifications, whether it's texts, emails, driving directions, will be read out loud to you via the audio system that's already currently in place. Now, with such a valuable and sought after product, we have to ensure that it stays in the right hands of the consumer. We don't want it to end up in the hands of the wrong person, because they'll end up with all that person's information and have access to personal information that no one wants to lose. So by using the touchpad that is on the right side of the frame, it will be able to scan up to 10 fingerprints. Now those 10 fingerprints don't have to be all yours. They can be your family members, your colleagues, whoever you so wish, so they can have access to the Google Glass as well. Now, a more complex way of doing this is a retina scanner. There's still further research that is needed, but it's very possible using the prism that is installed. So everyone's retina is different, it's unique. So using a retina scanner, it will be able to scan the retina of the user. If the Google Glass does not recognize that person's retina, it will be shut off completely, and the owner will be notified of where the location is of the device and how to get a hold of that. Now, our final solution that I would like to touch on has to deal with the privacy policy. We have to ensure that the user's personal data cannot be connected with their browsing data. So we have to revamp the privacy policy to ensure this. However, simply revamping the privacy policy doesn't do much, because we all know that most people don't read those privacy policies. I know I just scrolled down to the bottom of the page, simply click I agree, and move on to the next page. I don't think I've ever read one of those. So we decided to implement a 1 to 2 minute interactive video that when you first buy the Google Glass and you turn it on, you'll have to listen to, and it will address how to ethically use the product as well as how the information is used. And so yeah, these are just some of the solutions that we have. We understand that we can't come up with all the solutions right now currently, but we would work on this day by day, because it's our job. And with Google's motto being do no evil, one would assume that they don't want to release a product if it's not held to the highest ethical standard. So thank you for your time and have a good day.